It began with snow, thick, angry flakes that swallowed the city whole, turning streets to white rivers, making the drive north a fool's errand. I should have stayed put in my Brooklyn apartment, warm and safe, but a stupid impulse, a need for escape, had driven me into this mess. Now I was stranded with him, a stranger who looked like he'd walked straight out of a magazine ad, all kind eyes, a smile that hinted at trouble, and a way of making the blizzard outside feel like a world away. The weather report had been pathetic. Light snow, a picturesque dusting, they'd chirped, perfect for a winter getaway. Lies. As I pushed further into the Catskills, picturesque turned predatory. The snow came down in walls, a blinding white curtain blurring the asphalt ahead. Tires crunched on ice, my knuckles white on the steering wheel, each mile a fresh stab of regret. Turn back, every cell in my body screamed, find a motel, any place with 4 walls and a working phone. But stubbornness, that gnawing need to reach the rented cabin, the promised weekend of peace, of escaping deadlines, the city's relentless pulse, the crushing weight of my life kept me going. Escape, I'd told myself, a chance to breathe. Now, escape seemed impossible. The road was a black snake, slick and coiling, treacherous curves hidden under the snow. Trees, dark sentinels swallowed by the storm, lined the edge of nothing. Headlights clawed at the white void, illuminating only more white. The car fishtailed, a sickening lurch and a gasp tore from my throat. Pulse hammering, I wrestled the wheel, fighting for control. Damn it, I muttered, breath clouding the windshield. Just when I thought I'd wrestled it back, ice. Black ice. Invisible death. Tires screamed, lost their grip, and the world spun. Slow motion terror. The wheel jerked uselessly in my hands. Trees blurred closer, the grinding shriek of tires on ice, and then a sickening crunch, metal on something solid. The car slid, a slow, agonizing slide off the road, nose diving into a ditch hidden by snowdrifts. Silence. Just the howl of the wind and the frantic thump of my heart. The engine sputtered, coughed, then died, leaving an eerie, suffocating quiet. I twisted the key, nothing but a weak, pathetic whine. Breath came in ragged bursts, fogging the glass, stranded, phone, idiot. No signal, of course. The screen mocked me, that no service icon, a tiny, cruel tombstone. Panic, cold and sharp, clawed at my throat. Alone, miles from nowhere in a blizzard, no way to call for help. Then, headlights, blinding, cutting through the white chaos. Frozen, I squinted, heart leaping. A pickup, a dark shape materializing out of the snow, brakes hissing as it stopped behind my useless car. The driver's door opened, a figure unfolding, tall, broad, pulling up a hood against the storm's fury. Cautiously, I rolled down the window, fingers tight on the door handle, ready to slam it shut. You okay in there? His voice rough, but carrying over the wind's shriek. I think so, I managed, voice shaky. Car's stuck. He nodded, a quick glance at the ditch where my front end was buried. Yeah, you're not going anywhere in this mess. Roads are ice rinks. Got a place to stay nearby? Cabin rental further up, not happening tonight. He hesitated, a beat, maybe 2. Then, got a place not far from here, ride out the storm there, better than freezing out here. Every instinct screamed no. Stranger, secluded cabin, middle of nowhere. Horror movie cliches flashed in my mind. But the temperature was plummeting, the wind biting through my thin jacket. Stay in the car, freeze, go with him. Riskier maybe, but warmer. Okay, I said, grabbing my bag, the word catching in my throat. Thank you. He helped me out, hand steady on my arm as I stumbled onto the slick, treacherous snow. First real look, broad shoulders, strong jaw, eyes, green, startling green, catching the faint glow of the truck's headlights. Jake, he said, grip firm, reassuring. Sarah, I replied, breath a white plume in the frigid air. The truck cab was silent, engine rumble and the relentless drumming of snow on the roof the only sounds. I stole glances. Who was this guy? Good Samaritan or something else? Mid-20s, maybe, rugged charm, the kind you saw in ads for outdoor gear. Worn jacket, but clean. Hands, strong, sure on the wheel, a quiet confidence radiating from him. Lucky I came this way, he said finally, breaking the silence. Not many people on this road in this kind of storm. Guess I owe you one, I said, voice still tight. He glanced at me, a flicker of a smile at the corner of his mouth. Just glad I found you before it got worse. The cabin appeared, a dark shape nestled among towering pines, branches groaning in the wind. Small, cozy looking, smoke curling from the chimney, warm light spilling from the windows. Jake parked, helped me out again, his hand a steadying presence. "Come on in," he said, holding the door open. Inside, warmth hit me like a wave. Crackling fire in a stone fireplace, worn leather couch, bookshelves overflowing, knickknacks scattered around. Smelled of pine, wood smoke, something sweet. Cinnamon, maybe. "Make yourself comfortable," Jake said, shrugging off his jacket, hanging it by the door. "Grab some blankets." Numbly, I nodded, hovering near the fire, clothes damp, hands outstretched to the flames, soaking up the heat. Jake returned. Blankets piled high, dumped them on the couch, disappeared into a small kitchen, came back with 2 steaming mugs. "Here," he said, handing me one. "Warm you up." "Thanks," I murmured, wrapping my hands around the mug, the heat seeping into my frozen fingers. Silence settled, punctuated only by the fire crackling, wind howling outside. Slowly, the knot in my chest loosened, replaced by a fragile gratitude. "You live here alone?" I asked, finally. Jake nodded. "Yeah. Guide. Out in the woods most of the time. Cabin's just a base camp." "It's nice," I said, glancing around. He smiled, green eyes crinkling. "Does the job." The storm raged on. Wind shrieked, snow piled higher. No going anywhere tonight. Or maybe tomorrow. Stranded. With him. The wind was a living thing, battering the cabin, shaking the windows, blanketing the world in a thick, impenetrable white. On Jake's couch, wrapped in blankets, the reality sank in. Stuck. Completely at the mercy of the storm. And him. Jake moved around the cabin, calm, efficient, like he'd weathered 1,000 storms. Another log on the fire, flames leaping, warmth spreading. He seemed unfazed. Storm? Stranger in his living room? No problem. Me? Wound tight. Clothes still damp, muscles clenched from hours of tense driving. Tea helped, a little, but couldn't quiet the nagging thoughts. Days. What if the storm lasted days? Power out. This guy, really okay? Shake it off, Sarah. He's been nothing but helpful. Still, alone, isolated, vulnerable. The cabin darkened as the last light bled out. One lantern, firelight fighting back the shadows. Jake returned from the kitchen, plate with 2 sandwiches. Placed one in front of me, no words, sat in the armchair. Not hungry, but forced it down. Bread crunch, fire crackle, wind howl, the only sounds. Silence. Not uncomfortable, not easy either. Too aware. Quiet, close, his eyes flicking to me, assessing, figuring me out. Dinner done, Jake tidied up. Empty plates in the sink, broad shoulders, unhurried movements. At home here. Solitude. Envy twisted in my gut. My life, a blur of deadlines, rushing, pushing. Even now, phantom phone buzz in my pocket. Emails, to-do lists, pointless here. Mountains, blizzard, nothing to do but wait. Should hate it. Strangely, didn't. Jake came back, sat on the armrest of his chair. Firelight danced on his face. Sharp jaw, quiet confidence. Studied him, younger, maybe 10 years, but something older, deeper, grounded. Caught me staring, eyes averted, cheeks burning. Storm raged, hours crawled, comfortable despite myself. Fire warmth seeped into bone, blanket a cocoon. Leaned back, head on the cushion, body heavy, mind drifting. Exhaustion pulled me under. Didn't realize I'd fallen asleep until a gentle touch on my shoulder. Jake, standing over me, expression soft. "You should get some rest," he said quietly. "Bed's more comfortable." Blinked up at him, thoughts sluggish. "What about you?" "Couch is fine." Bed small, warm, thick quilt smelling faintly of pine. Sank into it, aching muscles relaxing. Storm roar muffled, Jake moving softly in the cabin. Years since I'd let anyone close. Walls built high after Mark died. Easier. Keep moving, working, pretending I didn't need anyone. Tonight, cabin, storm, firelight, walls felt thinner. Closed eyes, tried to sleep. Bed warmth, Jake's quiet hum, wrapping around me like another blanket. Power died sometime after midnight. Woke to blackness. Only light, faint embers in the fireplace. Panic, sharp, suffocating. Then, movement in the living room. Jake stoking the fire, quilt tighter, listening to his steady rhythm, comforting. Cabin warmer as flames flared back, light chasing shadows. Lay there, staring at the ceiling, thoughts tangled. Finally, got up. Jake glanced up as I entered, face half lit by fire. Couch, blanket over his lap, calm, alert. Couldn't sleep? Low voice. Shook my head, armchair. Silence, not awkward. Heavy, meaningful. Storm pressed paw on the world, left us in a bubble of stillness. Watched the fire, flames licking logs, warmth on my face. Jake shifted, gaze flicking to me. Felt his attention even when I wasn't looking. Skin tingling, breath hitching. Looked up, met his eyes, stared, silence stretched. Expected him to... what? Nothing. Something in his expression, quiet, intense, chest tightening. Broke it, glanced away, pretended to adjust the blanket. Should try to sleep, Jake said, softer. Nodded, didn't move. Fire crackled, storm howled. Not scared anymore. Storm stranded him. That scared me most of all. Storm raged, but next morning quieter. Snow piled against windows, insulated stillness, magnified every sound. Fire crackle, Jake moving softly, even my breath. Wrapped in quilt, fire, snow swirling outside. Jake up early, coffee, path to porch, futile, snow filled it in again instantly. Purposeful movements, keeping busy, keeping control. Envied that. Helpless here. Me? Out of place. No work, no emails, no deadlines. Exposed. Jake glanced, gaze lingering too long, turned away. Tension in the air, unspoken, impossible to ignore. Lunch done, Jake. Clear the porch again? Lighter snow now, physical distraction welcome. Hesitated, cold, cabin small now. Coat, boots, followed him out. Freezing air, biting cheeks, snow shovel Jake, instructions, patient, steady voice. Smiled at his seriousness. Just snow. Appreciated distraction. Side by side, silence, shovel scraping porch wood. Caught him looking. Green eyes bright against gray sky. Glanced away, heart faster each time. Slipped. Boots, slick snow. Down hard, porch. Careful! Jake, instant strong hands, arms helping me up. Tried to laugh, cheeks burning, embarrassment, his hands lingering. You okay? Softer voice. Fine. Quickly, brushing snow. Looked up. Shift. Hands still on my arms. Gaze locked on mine. Air charged. Moved? No. World faded. Storm, cold, everything gone. Just his eyes, hands, warmth. Cabin, fire crackled softly. Hearth, trying to shake lingering tension. Jake, kitchen, tea. Alone with thoughts. Heart raced when he touched me. Eyes lingered, searching. Years since. Pull. Anyone looked at me like that. Ready? Don't know. His attention, touch, warmth through me, not fire warmth. Evening. Storm eased, snow still falling steadily. Dinner, small kitchen table, light conversation, something heavier underneath. Hyper aware. Close, breathing, hand brushed mine, glass. Storm bubble, sealed off, just us. Later, fire, Jake, quiet today, low voice. Didn't respond, words, feelings. Finally, long time since I've been stuck. No distractions. Nodded, thoughtful gaze. Sometimes good to be still. Looked at him. Firelight, flickering shadows. Something in his expression. Steady, sure, chest tightened. Moment quick. Silence, then Jake leaned, hand brushed mine. Looked up, startled. Face inches from mine. Green eyes searching. Sign, stop. Didn't stop him. Kissed me. Soft, tentative. Giving me out. Didn't pull away. Leaned in. Warmth of his lips. Chased away doubt, hesitation. Don't know how long. Lost in each other. Fire crackled. Storm whisper. Pulled apart. Jake's forehead on mine. Hand on my waist. Silence. Unspoken thoughts. Words too small. Sank into the moment. His warmth. Gaze. Grounding me. That night, awake in bed. Thoughts tangled. Kiss replayed. Hands. Eyes. Warmth. Long since felt anything. Let myself feel anything. Part of me. Run. Walls back up. Pretend it didn't happen. Another part. Buried long ago. Wanted more. Storm quieted, inside, whirlwind. Didn't want it to stop. Next morning, cabin stillness. Snow slowed, gentle drift, storm mark, white banks against windows. Muted world, soft pale glow. Lingered in bed, reluctant to face day. Mind, storm of its own. Kiss, Ryan's touch, light in me, years dormant. Exhilarating, terrifying, impossible to ignore. Rational part, distance. Fleeting moment, storm comfort. Meaningless. Deep down, knew it wasn't true. Emerging from bedroom, Jake up, coffee, window, snow forest. Silent as I entered. Poured coffee, couch, mug warmth. Silence, not uncomfortable. Heavy, unspoken. Avoided his gaze. Regret? Confusion? Something else? Day slow, hours stretched. Quiet routine, snow porch, firewood, cabin warmth. Tried to focus. Thoughts drifted. Jake, close, untouchable. Moved with ease, I felt unanchored. Every glance, brush of hand, jolt. Tension simmering, caught him looking. Gaze lingering, pulse quickened. Silent. Late afternoon, silence broke. Fire, book from shelf. Jake across from me. Presence impossible to ignore. Heart rate up. Focused on pages, gaze on me. Steady, unwavering, couldn't take it. Looked up, met his eyes. Intensity, breath away. No hesitation, doubt. Quiet certainty. Made up his mind. Don't know who moved first. Sitting across. Fire crackling. Then, he was there. Pulled me in. Gentle, insistent grip. Lips found mine. World disappeared. No snowstorm. Cabin. Outside. Just his heat. Way he made me feel. Only person mattered. Lost myself in him. Hands in his hair. Arms around me. No hesitation. No holding back. First time in years let myself want. Hours blurred. Warmth. Closeness. Stark contrast. Cold storm outside. Jake. Attentive. Touch soft, sure. Movements deliberate, not rushed, impatient. Took his time. Savor every moment. Hadn't realized how much I'd miss this. Touched. Wanted. Body responded, forgotten ways. Every nerve alive, humming under his hands. Not just physical. Emotional weight. Depth. Off guard. Looked at me like precious. Cherishing. Heart ached. Best way. Afterward, tangled on couch. Firelight. Soft shadows. Jake's hand. Lazy patterns on my arm. Touch light. Grounding. Afraid I'd disappear if he let go. Stared at ceiling. Mind racing. Body relaxed. Wanted to stay. Moment forever. Believe outside world didn't exist. Knew better. What happens when storm ends? Whispered. Voice barely audible. Jake didn't answer right away. Tightened grip. Breath warm against my neck. We'll figure it out, he said. Steady voice. That night, didn't sleep. Awake, Jake's steady breathing. Shadows dance on walls. Mind whirlwind, exhilaration, fear, hope, doubt. Tangled, raw, exposed. Didn't plan this, didn't plan him, now he was here. Couldn't imagine going back. Terrified me. Next morning, snow stopped entirely. World bright, still, sun reflected, blinding white glow, beautiful, serene. Countdown started. Sunlight. Closer to leaving bubble. Jake up, bedroom, coffee smell, window, snow forest. Silent as I entered. Small smile. Morning, warm voice. Morning, chest tight. Day preparing to dig out truck, clear path. Hard work, satisfying. Focused on physical effort. Rhythmic scrape of shovels. Day wore on. Reality crept back in. Storm passed. Outside world waiting. Evening, fire, last time. Weight of a head hung heavy. Silence, not empty, filled with unsaid things. Hope, fear, uncertainty. Didn't know what would happen leaving cabin. Let myself rest in Jake's presence, holding on to quiet certainty. Moment for as long as I could. World outside cabin transformed. Storm rage, calm, snow-blanketed mountains. Pristine. Golden morning light. Beautiful. End of cabin time. Window, Jake digging out truck. Shovel scrape on driveway. Frosted glass. Each stroke, countdown. Perfect impossible bubble about to burst. Fire crackled. Warmth, eased little chill in chest. Mid-morning, truck free. Engine rumbling, crisp mountain air. Jake returned. Cheeks flushed cold. Faint smile, brushed snow jacket. Roads looked passable, simply. Nodded, heart sinking, new coming, too soon. Packing up quick. Bag heavy when I arrived, impossibly light now, each step around cabin, final, erasing traces of myself. Jake, quiet efficiency, fire, windows locked, tension in movements, heaviness mirroring mine, everything ready, cabin doorway, snow forest, heavy silence, unsaid things. Jake turned to me, green eyes steady. You ready? Wasn't. Drive down mountain, uneventful. Something shifted. Quiet, not same as cabin. Tighter, fragile, afraid to break it. Eyes on road. Mind elsewhere. replaying moments. Hands on skin, breath on neck, softness in gaze, surreal, dream, woken up too soon. Edge of town, Jake pulled gas station. Parked truck. Probably where we should part ways. Quietly. Hands on steering wheel. Words, punch to chest. Knew coming, looked at him. Searching, say something. Lump in throat. Nodded. Forced small smile. Thank you for everything. Jake's gaze lingered. Green eyes soft. Something I couldn't place. Regret? Longing? Thought he might say something. Change everything. Didn't. Drive back to Brooklyn. Blur. Streets busy. Cars rushing. World hadn't shifted on axis. Pulled driveway. Apartment unfamiliar. Someone else's. Stepped inside. Bag by door. Entryway. Unsure what to do. Silence deafening. Days followed. Hard. Threw myself work. Emails, meetings, deadlines. Nothing right. Mind drifted back. Jake. Cabin warmth. Quiet strength. Way he looked at me. Only person mattered. Just circumstances. Storm. Strangers. Comfort. Extraordinary situation. Meaningless. Deep down, wasn't true. Week after cabin, email to Jake. Didn't know what to say. Words poured out. Missed mountains. City suffocating now. Couldn't stop thinking about him. Before sending, hesitated. Didn't feel same. Fleeting moment. Temporary distraction. Stared at screen. Hours. Hit delete. Life went on. Colorless. Storm took vibrancy. Went through motions. Work, errands, friends' dinner. Everything muted. Dull. Tried to push Jake out of mind. Impossible. Closed eyes, saw his face, heard voice, felt hands. One evening, knock at door. Expecting no one, imagined it. Knock again. Louder, opened door. Breath caught. Jake, porch, hands in jacket pockets. Snow flurries clinging to dark hair. Eyes met mine, silent. Couldn't stop thinking about you, he said finally. Quiet, steady voice. Stepped inside. Cold followed. Closed door, frozen. Unsure what to say, do. Didn't know if I should come, he admitted, gaze searching mine. But I couldn't let things end like that, not without telling you how I feel. Chest tightened, heart pounding. I don't know if this can work, I said, trembling voice. Two completely different worlds. I don't care about that, Jake said, stepping closer. What we had in that cabin wasn't just a moment, Sarah. It was real, and I think you feel that too. Words broke something inside me, walls crumbling. Didn't know what next. Work, crash and burn, looked into Jake's eyes. One thing certain, wasn't ready to let him go. Jake's words hung. Silence, heavy, charged. Entryway, snow on boots, breath visible. Cold followed him in. Hadn't moved, said word. Since he said, couldn't stop thinking about me. Heart racing. Decision that could change everything. Wanted to speak. Felt same, every day thinking about him. Words wouldn't come. Jake didn't push, just stood there. Green eyes steady, expression calm, expectant. Don't want to overwhelm you, he said, low voice. But I had to see you, Sarah. Couldn't leave things the way they were. Way he said my name. Voice softened. Meant for me alone. Undid me completely. Stepped back, gestured him in. Out of cold. Hesitated moment. Followed. Closed door. Apartment smaller now. Walls closer. With him here. Jake slipped off coat. Boots. Neatly by door. Stood there waiting. Didn't know what to do. Rushed to him. Arms around. Never let go. Cautious, guarded part. Screaming slow down. Do you want coffee? I asked finally. Voice breaking. Jake smiled faintly, nodding. Sure. Kitchen, hands trembling, coffee pot brewing, familiar rhythm, grounding. Felt Jake's presence behind me, steady, unyielding. Coffee brewed, turned to face him. Counter, leaning back. Table, hands in pockets, gaze never leaving me. You didn't have to come here, I said quietly, voice barely audible. I know, he replied. Table, steaming mugs between us. Quiet hum of heater, cold until I wrapped hands around mug. Warmth seeped into skin. Jake silent. Me too. Presence enough. Steady, comforting. Storm brought us together, left behind calm. Didn't expect. Later, sun dipped, house filled soft evening light. Couch, Jake. Silence not heavy anymore. Something else. Quiet understanding. Neither wanted to break. Didn't know how to explain feeling. Too big, complicated. Tangled mess, fear, hope. Something dangerously close to joy. Evening wore on. Jake turned to me. Soft expression. I know this isn't easy for you, he said. Don't expect answers right now. but I want you to know I'm here, however long it takes. Words broke something. Last fragile barrier. Didn't respond words, leaned into him, head on his chest, arms around me, holding close. First time in forever, let myself exhale. Days followed, dream, Jake stayed. Bubble of quiet intimacy, long park walks, late night talks, quiet kitchen meals, not perfect. Doubts, fears, people think, work, age difference, not easy. Moments wondered, mistake, storm, chasing something not meant last. Then moments like this. Porch, Jake's hand in mine, sunset, made it all worth it. Months later, cabin where it started. Snow melted, vibrant green, mountains, warm air, clear sky. Cabin different place. Weekend hiking trails, fire, revisiting memories. Evening, fire. Jake turned to me. Soft, serious expression. Never thought I'd find someone like you, he said. Smiled, head on his shoulder. Didn't think I'd let someone like you in. Fire crackled, night settled. Realized something. Storm stranded us together, more than changed plans. Changed my life. First time in years, felt alive, connected, ready to leap into future. Jake by my side. Knew wouldn't face it alone.